Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's take some of these things out of here. Make sure I wish I can, create videos, on the fly during the weekend. I mean, if my wife's not working, I can do it, but I couldn't really do it this weekend. So I'm sorry to everybody that was expecting something from me as we went along. I tried to create some short videos. Didn't really work out all as planned. But yeah, we got 4 people watching, 19 people watching actually. Hit that like button, continue to do so. Does help out the channel a lot. I'm going to update this. We don't have any tags. Thumbnail. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Wilson. Good morning, Alex. I'm doing pretty good. Can't complain. You know what? I'm going to update this to $20. We need to hit $20. So I'm going to update this title and put it to $20. And I think we need to hit 20. 15 is right there. We need, like, 15 should be today. It should be today. So update this. There we go. We got 59 people in here, 18 likes. Thank you everybody for hitting that like button. To the moon, yes. How am I? I'm pretty good. I can't complain. It was a good weekend with the kids, as some of you may have seen with on the YouTube stories, but it was nothing but fun. We're gonna have a great week. I can feel it. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I can definitely see, a little bit of positivity today. But obviously with what AMC is looking like, it's not the best situation because we still are sitting at $13.43 going down. But remember that this doesn't mean that we're going to have a down day just because the stock price looks like it's going down in the pre-market. Pre-market really doesn't mean too much in most cases. Always looking forward to these dailies. Thank you for stopping by, for loving my videos. I appreciate that more than you know. I believe Ride is on its way back to 31. Yeah, just type in that AMC to 20 this week. Yeah, AMC is going to be to 20 this week. I know it. It has to be. It makes no sense why we're not seeing a huge amount of positive movement with them. We should see a lot more movement. We have something like 23 million shares expiring in the money today, don't we? I'm not sure. But if we do, then that's a good thing. I don't want to put too much into that because every time we have a ton of millions of shares that are expiring, people end up saying that we're going to have a ton of volume. I think we're going to have a lot of volume. Maybe some of it's based on that, but I think it's going to be majority of people looking to buy into positions, especially with it getting to lower points. At 1341, I think it may end up decreasing like every other day that we see. Ends up decreasing down. Maybe a good 40 cents, 50 cents, and then pushing back up. I'm hoping that's what we see, a complete reversal. I'm trying to look at what ZOM is doing because I would like to see them under $2. They look like they keep hovering between $2 and $2.15. So that's definitely an interesting bet. But that's not something that, it's something you can gain a pretty decent amount of money from. Especially just moving $2 to $2.15, you can gain a pretty decent amount of money depending how many shares you buy. Good morning, how's Carl? They're good apparently because they snuck into the food last night, and I was wondering why they weren't meowing because we have them on a diet. And I was wondering why they weren't meowing is because they opened the door, because I have a wine door over here to where I keep the food behind there. And somehow Carl busted through it and opened the door and ate all the food. So he's probably doing pretty, not all of it, but he's doing pretty well. So I have to find a way to block that. What does make sense is manipulation. Yeah, we need no more manipulation. We need to find a way to, have them stop manipulating the positions, even though it's going to continue. We just need to have them like actually do things the right way, So, yeah, it just pisses me off, that they continue to manipulate in order to prove that they're right. And they obviously have. Carl's weight is up 50%. I don't know. They're actually looking pretty skinny, but Carl is a sign for AMC busting through 15. That's funny. That's funny, Michael. That may be true. That may be true. No, but we need no more manipulation. We need to make sure that AMC, skyrockets. We put all our efforts into it. I'm looking to buy more AMC as the price, may go down. A lot of people were talking about this vote, and I did see a lot of responses. And every time I think about it, I think about these votes, and I understand where people are coming from. Hey, vote no, and this is the reason why we should vote no. But let's understand both sides of it. I mean, as I started to go through it, and I was just like, it's probably going to happen anyways. If they want to introduce more shares, they're going to make it seem like obviously we're a part of it. But the people that own the most of this are going to have the biggest say in the vote, right? So if they want to introduce more shares, they're going to introduce more shares. So I wanted to really just talk about all of the pros and cons of all of this stuff. And that's why I created the YouTube stories to where I talked about that. But it makes no sense why nobody would end up seeing both sides of things. I feel like I'm the only one that wants to understand what could be a positive out of this, because if it does happen, which it's highly likely that it will happen if they want to introduce more shares, if it benefits the company, what are really the pros and cons? Friday was ridiculous. How will you be voting? Well, obviously, I don't want them to do it because I don't want the stock price to decrease, right? I don't want the stock price to be decreased. I don't want any dilution. I don't want any of that, right? A lot of people don't want it either. But does this help out the company? I think it does in a huge way. It does, right? Because even though they're gonna have more of these shorts, more of these positions available, and hedge funds may be able to cover. If they cover, the stock price goes up, right, a lot faster. They're gonna have to force another recount, right? So I believe they already did a recount, right? So they're gonna have to force another recount in order to effectively do this dilution, and also, lower the stock price in some form or fashion, which nobody wants to have happen. But obviously, I'm going to try and vote no because I don't want any of that to happen. But I do want the company to benefit from it. If the company can be able to bring in more money based on this, then yeah, it's going to help them out, be able to pay off debts, have them survive a longer time. Especially right now, I think paying off the debt that they did, they can only really survive until after summer or something. But as long as they start to have, what vote are you guys talking about? So they sent out an email, brokerage accounts sent out an email basically saying that they wanted us to vote on 6 things. One that's probably the most important piece, which is basically 500 million shares they're looking to add of Class A stock. The first naked shorts, thus starting the squeeze. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, is the fact that they would have a more reliable recount, right? Because doing this is something that's standard, rather than just going out and recounting the stocks that are there. That's not something that I really ever see for the most part. So you would most likely to sell if you vote yes and hold for no, really. No, that's not the case. And yes, like I said, I'm gonna vote no. I don't want this to happen. But no matter what, we don't hold any of the power here. Yes, we could have a number of people that are holding positions, but if they're holding over 50%, well over 50%, which they are, then they're going to make the decision whether we vote no or yes. So what's going to happen in the positive form of this? Are we going to see anything positive out of this? Which I think we can, because if the stock price decreases, anytime the stock price decreases, you're going to see a lot of people looking to buy the dip. So we're looking to continue to buy the dip because they're still holding, right? And if they cover their shorts, they're still covering their shorts at a higher point, which means that they lose, and they don't want to lose. So they're going to cover their existing shorts and then end up shorting the stock more as it goes up to the top, because they want to decrease the price more. So it's not going to give them the chance to completely cover everything, because no matter what, if they cover everything, they lost, right? The stock price is way higher than what it was, so they lost in the end. So it makes sense. We understand exactly what could happen if they do vote yes to adding 500 million more shares. But keep in mind that this is just like a suggestion, or I'm trying to think of what words to use, but they're not going to basically add 500 million more shares. They're going to add probably a portion of that, and maybe like do 100 million, 200 million, 50 million, something like that. But yeah, I would say there's positives and negatives to this, and we need to understand the positives and the negatives, because especially if it happens no matter what, we really need to understand. Remember this vote to give the ability to add 500 million shares at any time. It does not mean that they will activate this right and state that it moves into hostile takeover. Yeah, true. Like I said, they're not going to add all of the 500 million shares at one point. They're going to add, maybe 50 million shares. I feel like that will benefit the company a lot more to be able to do that. And I understand you don't want hedge funds to cover their shorts, but I think them covering their shorts is a great situation. One, they get rid of these naked shorts, any IOUs that were out there, right? We also have them covering their actual short positions, which bringing the stock price up, right? So no matter what, if we do see that stock price decrease, it's going to instantly increase based on them covering their short positions. Then you're going to see them double down on their short positions as it starts to get to the higher tier, which we're still driving up this price, which effectively creates more of a squeeze, right? So we should see some positivity out of doing that. I don't understand why everybody's saying we should automatically vote no and that we don't want them to cover their shorts, we don't want them to game the system, but they're losing. They're going to lose, and every time they cover, the stock price increases. Every time we buy, the stock price increases. So that's what I really wanted to talk about. There's a lot of positivity with actually having this go through. Thanks for helping me understand. No problem. I mean, I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to see both sides. People are always looking at the negatives and going, we're sticking with us, and the hedge funds will end up winning if we add on 500 million more shares. Like I don't know if that's 100% true. I mean, you may see a situation to where it makes sense for them to be able to cover all these shorts and be able to, because if we're holding a number of positions, right? If we're holding 100% of the stock, which is not a reality. If we're holding 100% of the stock, it makes it difficult for them to cover their shorts. But we're not trying to make it difficult for them to cover their shorts. We're trying to make them cover some of their shorts, so we effectively bring that stock price up. Without them covering, we're basically sitting at a point to where we're looking, flat. We kind of need them to cover here, right? We need them to add that extra piece to it. Hey, they're covering, we're buying, other institutions are buying, we're factoring all that in, and that creates positive price action. But if you only add in the people that are buying, institutions are still not interested because they don't see the stock price maybe going up, they don't see the hedge funds covering their shorts right now, then the stock price will slowly move on the upward trajectory. But we kind of need them to cover some things. In your opinion, does it actually matter if if it's yes or no, both will require a stock recall. Recall the main objective here. Am I wrong? I'll have to look into that. I don't think the stock recall is the main objective. Actually, it's part of the main objective. I don't understand where everybody's head is when it comes to the other portions of, creating this squeeze, right? The point of a squeeze is to squeeze them out of their position. If we're looking to have them hold on to these short positions and not be able to cover their shorts, that's not a squeeze. Like, it's not squeezing them out of their position. We need to be able to make sure that they can cover these so we can have that increase. But yes, I would say that's a big part of it, is to have that recount, to basically have not a recall, but a recount, to have that recount and basically call out any of those naked shorts or IOUs that people have been getting. So yeah, I would say that's a portion of it, but it's not all of it. Will there be a shared stock recount to make them cover their shorts, whether it's yes or no? Yes, there will. But the thing is, like, I look at anything, when something is added and you create dilution, it's more of an effective recount, more of an effective understanding of all the stocks that are out there, the real stocks. So that's why I always say, like, if you are adding more shares, you get an understanding as to what is really out there. But I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they already did some form of a recount, if I'm not mistaken. Is Webull pushing AMC? I haven't seen many AMC stocks come through my free stocks lately. Yeah, that's definitely a pro, is that more institutional investors would be able to buy in. Trey is right, and that would create a lot of volume. But I think there's more pros to that as well. The fact that we can buy in, it lowers the stock price for us to buy in more and continue to hold more of those positions. Also gives them the ability to cover, and I understand that people don't want them to cover, but if they do, it raises the stock price. And if you think that they're just going to cover and let us win, that's 100% wrong. Everybody does not understand exactly what hedge funds and billionaires and people that have money, the one thing that they love to do is be stubborn. So when they lose, they don't really lose. They will end up shorting the position as it starts to get to its peak after they start to, after they cover everything. So they cover all this stuff, they're going to short it as it goes along so that it does go down. But we're going to continue to buy as they're continuing to short. So I think this is actually a good thing. I mean, I don't know why. Why would you want, why would I want dilution? Like I said, I want the company, one, to benefit from this the most, because I feel like it could be a huge long-term play for a lot of people if people are looking at it as a long-term play from $2 and holding out for a long period of time. But I also love to see the stock price go down, because then it creates more buying opportunity for a lot of people. So that's what I'm really looking at here. And there's a lot of positivities into, or positivity into having the stock price as low as it could get. People have bought or are holding, they may not be able to continue to buy. True, but it does create a lot of more people that are interested in the position as the stock price does go lower. So it creates more of an opportunity, because with time creates more money, more ability to invest. So I think that yes, there is a lot of people that probably couldn't continue to buy, even though like they're just ready to hold and wait for it to skyrocket. I understand where you're coming from, but just realize that all of the people that feel like they missed an amazing opportunity in getting it at below $10. If it goes below $10 again, what happens there? I know I'll be buying at least 1,000 shares if it goes below $10 again, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I can't really buy more, so I'm worried. Yeah, did you buy in at a high point? Did you buy in at like above $10, $13, $12, or something like that? Because that's where people are starting to get, I guess, a little bit worried as to where it will go. Just know that if something was added, right, and you gave them the ability to cover their shorts, that increases the stock price a lot. I understand that people are talking about dilution and decreasing of the stock price. Seeing that drop, I don't know how much it will drop by if it does happen. First, can you guys hit the like button? We have 283 people in here. If you could hit the like button, that would be amazing. We also have Twitch. I think I'm live on Twitch. I haven't even checked at all. That's bad. I am live. I have 2 viewers over on Twitch. Thank you for viewing on Twitch. And I didn't even set up TikTok to see if people were interested in that. But it's always interesting to have over there. Seems like hedges are going to drag this out for years until they get a bailout by some lawmakers. Yeah, it's either they get a bailout, the hedge funds get a bailout, or they end up winning in the situation. There's a lot of times where they don't win, but there's a lot of times where they win, and there's some times where they don't win, like 2008, 2009. I'm not saying that, hedgies were all involved in that. Most hedge funds were actually on the opposite side of that because big banks were actually pushing that. But still, when people that make a lot of money, billionaires, big banks, hedge funds, all of these things end up making a lot of money, they end up being stubborn, and when they lose bad. When they win, they obviously win really well because they're investing with a lot of money. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit tricky to take in, I'll tell you that. But I love to see all sides of everything. I'm trying to understand what could be the positive and what's actually going to happen. Because does our vote really matter in this case? Probably not. It doesn't matter as much. It's great to be able to see what the people want, but it's still understandable that people have a lot riding on this. So it's not something where we're going to be like, oh, you're going to lose popularity and people are going to sell their positions. I don't think so. You may have people that probably sell some, but then they see the price as low as it is, and then they get right back in. So no matter what, we're going to see some really good movement here, in my opinion. But that's just my 2 cents. I mean, there's a lot of negative looks on this, but AMC live price action. But yeah, I wanted to give my opinion and do like a stream yesterday, or actually the day before, but I was with the kids all day, all weekend actually, since Erica was working. And it was fun. I mean, I love, obviously, playing with them. Set this up. Go live. And on January, AMC started declining from 1396, and it's the same pattern. In my opinion, if you go up by this week, I won't go back until the middle of the end of April. If it don't go up by this week, it won't go back up until the middle to the end of April. I don't think that's it. The thing is that you can say that, you can predict that that's what would happen, but I don't know. I don't know what would be the reasoning behind why you would think it wouldn't go up until middle or end of April. But yeah, I think this is an unpredictable position, very unpredictable. I don't like the fact that it's unpredictable, because if I look at AMC and I see obviously the growth over the last couple of weeks, it looks amazing. It looks really steady. It doesn't look like anything that's, obviously it has been manipulated at times, somewhere around I believe it was $14, somewhere around where it was $14 and dropped down significantly. It did recover a little bit, but yeah, I see this. It looks really good, but it's truly unpredictable. It truly is. Thank you for joining over on TikTok. I appreciate it. And thank you for the 4 viewers over on Twitch. Do whatever you can in order to support. Send likes, you know, hit up the chat, whatever you need to do. We got 302 people in here. If you could hit that like button, that would be amazing. Get me to about 150 likes on YouTube. That's about half of what the concurrent viewers are. So that would be really good. 500 million shares doubles the amount of total shares. Not good. Why would you say it's not good? I just want to know how it's not good. And then when you do tell me, you know, what's the reasoning, let me know if there are any pros and cons to those reasonings, if that makes sense. Because I always like to see, you know, what it will do, you know, the dilution, the stock price ending up decreasing, right? What a DFV tweet. I don't know what he tweeted. I would love having paper shares. Why don't you guys just play options on good stocks? I think the overall stock market gets affected by this situation, but I know what you mean. If you feel as though there are definitely safer opportunities that are out there, this is more on the lines of gambling, not really understanding exactly where it's going to go because it's unpredictable. So I understand where you're coming from. I saw a dip on Friday, 1358. Yeah, right now it's at 1354. So been holding since $2.77. I missed when it went up to 19 bucks, and I decided to just hold now. It went back up, and it's all getting frustrated and tired of AMC. I understand where you're coming from. There's a lot of people that are getting frustrated with this, seeing that, you know, the stock price has been flat, and especially, well, it hasn't been flat lately. It's been, you know, moving on an upward trajectory for a number of, you know, weeks or number of days. But you have seen a number of days that have been kind of flat here with AMC, especially when it got down to about $5, which is a really great point to where people could have, you know, bought into more shares. Obviously, I was holding a ton at that time, but yeah. What do you think the opening price of AMC will be today? Where it stands, it looks like what we're going to see. Let's look at today. Let's see what today is actually looking like, because I don't think I've actually looked at what happened today, how it opened up in the at 4 o'clock. So it did have a little bit of a gap down, basically down to $13.42. So it wasn't a huge move from where it was in the after hours market. It was a huge move from where it closed at, you know, closing at $13.93. But seeing this little bit of a dip down to $13, that definitely shows a little bit of an indication that that could be the possible low here. We don't want to see it dip below $13. Good thing is we haven't seen any other touch points. The bad thing is that we haven't seen the real volume, so there may end up being more touch points at that point. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to see it open somewhere around, if it stays on this level, which we do see a little bit of increase, decrease, kind of staying flat, I guess. We'll probably see it open somewhere around the same, $13.50. We'll probably see it dip a little bit, and then open around the same. So it's not going to be, it's going to be probably a 2 to 3% loss. But if it's not, if we get up to break even, then that's obviously a good deal. No matter what, we're going to see decrease candlestick right from the start, a red candlestick right from the start. That's typically how it goes. So I think we're going to start somewhere around that range of $13.50, 60 cents. Good morning to everyone. Good morning. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for watching over on TikTok. How are you guys and gals? What do I think of Cinemark? I don't know. Come on. What do I think of? It'd be great to just have the ticker symbols because for some reason it doesn't want to pop up. Obviously having a pretty big gap up here. Seeing a huge gap up is definitely a great deal. Well, it's not really huge. Thought it was bigger than what it was. For some reason I seen 29, but having a big gap up is definitely huge. What do I think of it? Let's look at long term first. If we look at the 10,000 foot view, you can see nothing but positive movements here on the way up. So it looks like a slow grower, nothing that's too crazy to where you see those huge spikes. You do have one huge spike here, but I do see a number of days to where it does push up, new lows that are created. It has this upward moving trajectory, upward level of supports. You're going to see some really good movement here. As of late, you see it did cross the 200 EMA, which could indicate more of a downtrend. It's close to it. It hasn't crossed yet, but it's close to it. So you might want to wait for that indication. I don't know if we will see a huge positive day to bring it back up to where the high was of $26.11. But crossing, I don't know if we'll see a bounce. That's what I want to know. If we're going to see a bounce off of this 200 EMA, then that will be good. And then you can obviously get a really good swing trade out of it from $23 or $24 up to 26, or have it break that resistance level past 26. But I definitely think it looks like a good position. Let's look at the 100,000 foot view here just to see how that looks. So yeah, it's more of the same. Looks pretty good. You did have a massive drop off here, but obviously with the fact that it did recover and push over that point shows that it has strength over that support level, or sorry, resistance level. So I think CNK looks pretty good, growth wise. Definitely really good growth wise. I don't know what their overall potential is, but it does look really good growth wise. It doesn't really have too many huge dips that you would want to see, or that you would see in a huge swing trade here. But you can get some positivity out of that, grow it to $26, $30, maybe retest this $28 mark. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm so tired. Why am I watching this? I think it's because it's entertaining. I mean, looking at different stocks, it tends to be addicting. I was just talking to family members about this. The fact that it is pretty addicting to go through the stock market, and talking about people that have an addicting personality and how they feel. Oh, why does your title say no more manipulation? Because I don't want any more manipulation. So that's why it says it. But yeah, I think for people that have that more addictive personality, I feel like they get into the stock market and they don't stop trading. Like for me, I was always a person to where I would trade during the day, accept a $100 to $200 gain, and then go on about my day. I wouldn't look for a $2,000 gain in one day. I would look for a $100 gain and then go on about my day. As of late, obviously I have to look at the stock market a lot more because it's something that people find very interesting to go through this stuff. As we go through the years and months, we'll definitely update what we can look at. Watching 6 stocks at a time, mind-boggling. Yeah, I understand. So yeah, I can tell you that I can tell you that looking at all this stuff tends to be a little bit addicting. So yeah, that's why I really wanted to start these live streams here, was to talk about AMC, GME, but also give an understanding as to what could be done, go through live trading sessions, and hopefully that can be the case to where I do that maybe on Patreon, I do an actual live trading session to capture my profit. And if I don't capture my profit, then I don't. But then I update people on YouTube as we go along. So we'll see how everything really develops, because it just makes it easy. What are Carl's picks, Matthew? So Carl's picks will be at the end of this week. I'll be asking them somewhere on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, just so we get an understanding of where they are, and then we'll release it. I would try to release it on Fridays so that people can get an understanding as to where it's going to go, grab the position, maybe invest into it on Monday if they wanted to, but that's where it's going to go. I'm gonna do the picks later this week. But if you're not in the Patreon group, you won't know what the picks are unless they talk about it in the Discord, which tends to happen maybe a couple of days later. But obviously you got into it later than where everybody else would get into it at. So I have a whole section for just the Profit Hands group. I might sell at 15, come back and invest when I have more money. I mean, that's smart. If you feel as though that's the best situation, there's a lot of people that are getting tired of holding. I know every time I mention how much I'm up on AMC, people are like, why are you still holding? And I'm like, well, there's a lot more potential, and I don't want to give up that potential by letting it go. So it's all good. I just like your cat, man. Yeah, Carl is pretty great. He's somewhere around here. You ate too much food, man. What are your thoughts on movement today? The movement for AMC today does not look the best, right? And I talked about it earlier. It doesn't really look the best today right now. I mean, it pretty much closed the after hours market at like 1350 something. So sitting at 1350 again, I mean, it's fine where we're at. That dip that we've seen down to 13 was obviously not a great deal, but I definitely like a little bit the fact that we are flat, that we did recover a little bit, and hopefully we can continue to see some sort of recovery on the way up, get back up to $14, and then during the day, get to $15. That's where we should be. Matt, you being greedy and about to make the same mistake you made with GME. No, with GME, it was a different situation. AMC was supposed to be more of a long-term swing trade to get to $20. That was my overall thought, was to get to $15 or $20. And I did up it to 20 as my firm get out point, because 15, I did end up averaging up and then selling off some shares to get into GME again, which I did get into GME pretty high at 240, but it was only 2 shares and I was looking to buy a little bit more. Can anyone join the Discord group? Anyone can. It does cost $5 though. So yeah, I try to keep that there so I don't, I got distracted. Yeah, I try to keep it at $5 so it's not like thousands of people that are in it. We start to really, with a small group of people, understand what the people specialize in. Then if we have any questions, we'll understand who's really going to answer it, whether it's me or whether it's, I don't know, someone else that's in the group. But yeah, there's a lot of great people there. And I think we're going to have a lot more great people. But yeah, it costs $5. Let me just get the link for it. The link is in the description, but I will pin it to the chat. I usually do that. I don't know why I didn't do it now. Whoops. Let's see. Brother, how are you liking Tesla today? I'll get into Tesla in a little bit. Just let me put this Discord link think that's good. No, that's not good. Sorry guys, let me just duplicate this. Here we go. There we go. There we are. In message. Boom. Okay, so we have 375 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button, get it above 200 likes. That'll be amazing. But what do I think of Tesla today? I know Tesla was at $654. I think at this point it looks amazing in the pre-market, right? That movement looks really good, and it shows a ton of positive movement probably for the day as well. And I think you may have missed it a little bit. I understand it can still grow up to $800, but I think with anything that's at that $650 range, I would love to get into at 600 or below and then see that growth, because you know it's going to get back up to 700 sometime soon. It seems to fluctuate between that $600 mark and $700 for the last couple of weeks actually, and you know, hasn't seen 800 in quite some time. But you can see some really good movement with a swing trade for Tesla. The problem is that right now this is too much positive movement, so I wouldn't chase the position as of today. You might see a complete reversal as it does open with the stock price going up, and we don't know if we'll see down markets this week. I'm hoping that we don't, because then we'll see an increase in AMC, GME, all of those. But yeah, I think Tesla looks really good. The movement looks really good. It's just I wouldn't chase the position at the moment if you're looking to buy into it, because it is a high price to pay for a stock, especially if it's going to move $50, $80 in one day, and it could go against you. So thank you for the super chat though too. I'll join the Discord group if my Daisy server. That's why so many people stay poor. They can't even invest 10K. Yeah, well, you look at it, this is the crazy part, and a lot of people like to tell me, oh, why do you day trade? Why do you swing trade? Why is it a good thing to do this? And I always talk about this, and I think the timing of Trey releasing a video sometime yesterday, I think, or it might have been days before, I don't know, I get his updates sometimes, releasing a video talking about a Roth IRA, and the fact that you can day trade in a Roth IRA and swing trade in a Roth IRA is something that I've been talking about for years. People always say like, oh, well, you know what, invest in something, slow, you can get 5-10%. I understand that, but you want to have some sort of risk, and risking only a small portion is not good, because it's always being dumb. I think it's stupid that you pay for gig speed internet and you get trash. Tesla long 3,000. I mean, there's people that are getting off of here because it's lagging. I don't understand it at all. Is it good now? It says it's excellent connection. Is it good? Now we have 150 people in here. This is ridiculous. Good morning, Jack. Is everything good, or is it still? It doesn't look like it's lagging anymore. Hey man, how are you doing today? How was your week? My week was pretty good. Last week was a little worse than what I thought it was going to be, because it would have been perfect if we could have finished at $15 or $20. We're back. Good. Okay, great. Don't know the new Weeble update was lagging my whole computer, so I'm just okay. It seems to have corrected itself. That's good that it did, because I didn't want to stop streaming. I could have just hopped off and made a couple more videos, but we have 288 people in here. Seems to be climbing, so hit that like button. Continue to do so. Sorry for anybody that was experiencing any lag. I'm sure on TikTok you're fine. I'm not even on Wi-Fi there. I'm on my mobile network. Stream didn't have enough likes, so it was buffering. Yeah, you need 200 likes in order for that to stop buffering. Hedgies are laddering attack match stream. That's funny. Hedgies are out to get you. How is RKT? So right now RKT is still sitting at a $1,300 loss. It did drop down. The last price I think was $23.32. My average price is $28.63. So I think that we can get back up to break even at one point, or at some point, but it's still going to be a little tough to do so, just because it did go so low. And I did see it hit $23 a couple of times, and I would like to see it get up to a certain point to where it can break even, because it will fight. And I think with it fighting, I want to get back down to like 24. And even if it does go down to a low of 23 or 20, then I basically have that room in order to grow. But I want to be able to make that money with Rocket, get out, get back in, or just lower my cost average, continue to lower that cost average as time goes on. Because I think with the amount of shares that I have at 255, if I do end up averaging down with my 3 day trades, but I don't think I have any day trades left until Wednesday or Tuesday. Yeah, Wednesday is when I will have some day trades left. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it looks like Rocket is the biggest loser for me. That should have been, it was supposed to be a swing trade. And it is a swing trade. It's just going to be a longer swing trade than what I hoped for. And obviously, investing at the first point, I knew that I had to average down, and I did. I didn't think I had to average down this much. So yeah, it was definitely more of something that went a little bit against me. But with a swing trade, you have the ability to average down. With a day trade, I really don't like to average down. With a day trade, I will get out of the position, take my loss, and then go on to the next trade, or trade back into that same position, but understand what the movement is, understand where the low is, and then make my move back into it and gain something out of it. Because 20% loss and that 100% gain is okay for me. Rocket not going up for 2 weeks. Why do you say that? I see them as something that the stream from lagging. It's really pissing me off. It's really pissing me off. I'm sorry. I don't want it to lag, because if it does, then obviously I'm gonna have to stop the stream. Why do you say there's no more manipulation? I'm not saying that there's no more manipulation. I'm saying with aggression that I don't want any more manipulation. Are you using Streamlabs OBS? You need to look into this. Sorry about the issue, man. Yeah, I'm using Streamlabs OBS. It's mainly just an internet thing. I don't understand why it's lagging to that extent. Let me check my usage, maybe. It looks like I'm good. I'm not using basically anything here. So the performance should be really good. All right, now Harper's chasing the dog again. Just pay your bill on time and you'll be good. That's funny. What are you doing? Cat is trying to get behind that door again. You think upgrading the router is the difference? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't look like it's doing it for Twitch. Twitch seems to be okay. I don't know why YouTube is just being weird. No. Maybe this router is not working. Because I have one of those, I have the wireless pods that you can get. Sorry everyone, I think I might have to end the stream. If it doesn't, I think I might have to end it. I don't know. I don't want to end the stream. I mean, I can post videos about the stuff, but I think I might have to end the stream. I don't want to just sit here and, talk about stuff while you can't even hear me. Everything is better now. Okay. I want to talk about the stocks, but I feel like I have to keep talking about the damn lag issue. It's like a 3-second lag. It looks like it's worse for me. It's showing like it's buffering the whole entire time. It's okay, really? Okay. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's talk about AMC and G. I haven't talked about GME in a little bit. So GME, looking as flat as it is obviously not the best bet. I hold 2 shares of GME at $240. Would love to see it jump up. I was hoping that, if we do see something skyrocket, I'll hold on to GME. I don't care about losing everything with GME, but I think that GME does still have the potential to continue to rise. And I made the decision, instead of buying into a crazy amount of shares, I only bought into 2 shares. And then if I did see it drop down and seen that we could see a potential increase to slowly, get back into there at a lower and lower cost. That's where I'm thinking of any type of, we could have any positivity there. Let me hit an ad here, because I haven't done that in a while. But AMC, for AMC, I can definitely see them when they open up, probably at like 1350, 1360. You're going to see a little bit of a decrease, and hopefully we see a positive day. It looks like the overall market, it's like fluctuating between, positive and negative. Hopefully we see some more positive than negative, and that would be a great situation. Yeah, it's kind of hurting me that we're seeing all of these lag problems. According to Fintel, cost has a 26% short interest ratio. I love cost, and every time I talk about them, I'm always like, we should get into there. It has a lot of movement. With just getting a day trade or a swing trade out of it, it has a lot of movement. I think you can get a ton of. I don't have any lag. That's good. It has a ton of movement to where you can see a huge increase from $23 up to $27, from $24 up to $26. You can actually see some pretty decent movement and gain a lot of money from it just by investing in 200, 300, 1,000 shares or so. So, are you shocked that the market has been struggling since the stimulus package? Yes, I definitely am, because the stimulus package should be introducing a lot more people into, buying, selling stocks, mainly buying stocks, right? Um, but we can also understand that a lot of it wouldn't have been able to get into the different brokerage accounts because it takes a couple of days to clear. So it might not actually take into effect until today or tomorrow. And that's why I was like, all right, Friday may be a big deal. But for me, I noticed that I took some money out and put it into Webull on Wednesday, and I still don't have it cleared. And it's Monday. So this is where it's like, okay, it could be a possibility to where the stimulus packages didn't get introduced or into the brokerage accounts yet. So yeah, why am I still getting like? It should be like the volume should be down. There we go. There we are. I have direct deposit and I haven't even gotten my stimulus check yet. You didn't even see it pending. For a lot of people, it was pending for the 17th. And on that day, people could have made deposits into their brokerage accounts, and it still didn't actually get completed yet. I got the last stimulus check. Can you give me your thoughts on GME? Yeah, my overall thoughts for GME, right? I like them to see a ton of movement from basically 180 to 227. I like seeing that movement. It would be great for me for a swing. I'm holding on to them just in case they do have that large spike up to $1,000 or $2,000, like people are saying. But I can tell you, with all the negative movement, it doesn't seem great. I was looking at 3 months. I don't want to look at 3 months. It doesn't seem amazing to see all of that negative movement down, but it does give people an opportunity to get into the position, because I still do see potential with them, and as how they've been increasing since 42. So $42, they did drop down to about $90 or $80. I have like a hair right in front of me. And then you've seen that steady increase, which is definitely a good sign. We're getting close to seeing that crossover of the 200 EMA. It's and the 15 moving average, and it's kind of flat as we look at this moment. But we could see some really great increase from here, from this 198 mark. Do I see them as a positive today? It does look like they're increasing in the percentage size. So where they did close to where they're going to open, they might open somewhere right above it. Typically close to the end of the day, you are going to see more of an increase. It does shoot up for both AMC and GME from what I've seen in the past. It hasn't really had many times to where it does decrease right at the end of the pre-market, but the beginning of the day, you do see a large decrease. And then hopefully we can see that positivity. If we see the positivity in AMC, I think we're going to see the same in GME and in cost. Rocket is probably going to be something different. It seems to flow on its own chart somewhere. But yeah, AMC should go up with the new movies. Yeah, I don't think this is a news thing. People support them. People are showing their support. And yes, we can say the new movie should create a lot more interest, a lot more buzz. But it's just creating revenue for them. And we're not going to see that effect until we really see any type of earnings, which we might still not see that effect because people support them no matter what. They support them over the fact that they may end up, they're close to bankruptcy or whatever. We still support them. So it's more on the lines of support stock-wise rather than the business-wise. But yes, it does help. Do you think Moon phase influencer trader? Wait. Do people go crazy and sell during a foul moon? I'm not sure I understand what you're saying here. Are you saying like when it gets to the highest point, people are like, okay, it's mooning? Or are you talking about the overall? I really don't understand exactly where you're coming from here. Can you explain that a little bit more, Richard Ruthless? So yeah, we have 344 people in here. If you could continue to hit that like button, 250 likes would be the goal of the next 30 minutes. AMC was not doing well before the pandemic, so I don't think things look good for them long term. I'm guessing they do short term and burst, but again, they're doing well before. So yeah, they weren't doing well right before the pandemic, right? They were declining when it comes to their stock price. It comes to the amount of people that were going there, their revenues, all that stuff. Obviously, with any changes that they could make, this gives them the opportunity to change. Just like GameStop. GameStop wasn't doing well. They were on a slow downward spiral, right? Even though they're a huge business, they literally control so much of the market, but the physical market rather than, you know, the e-commerce space. But this does give them the opportunity to change things up for GameStop. Same thing goes for AMC. It gives them the opportunity to change things up a little bit. So they can change their business plan to implement something else if they wanted to, understand where their flaws are, and then also give them the funding to add more people that can innovate, that can, you know, change their business. And yes, I think that they were declining, but they were definitely at a stock price to where it should have been $10 at least. And if they wouldn't have changed anything, it would have continued to decline, and that's okay. But you can see in the middle of the pandemic, it had strength between $2 and $7. It kept bumping back and forth, $2, $7 the next month, and then it just kept going back and forth until it hit a low to where it was at $2 and some odd cents, and then did end up increasing because of the overall attention towards it, the amount of shorts that were out there. So it gives them the opportunity to do big things. So long term is definitely an option for them as long as they start to change things, as long as they start to pay off debt, as long as they start to hire new people, change their business plan, change their business model. All those types of things could end up improving the business in a big way, just like what they did for Tesla. And I understand Tesla was huge no matter what, but Tesla can put a lot more money into R&D, can put a lot more money into hiring new people that can innovate. And that's exactly what they did. And you see where they are now. And I understand that their stock price is not, you know, reflecting where they should be. Financially, it's reflecting, you know, it should be a lot lower. But from the amount of support that they get, they continue to gain, you know, more and more capital to be able to innovate there. So I love the thought of understanding like where the financials stand, but it's a little bit more than that at this point. Totally gonna take a date to an AMC movie, and I'm gonna walk in dressed up with sunglasses and be a total asshole because I'm a part owner. That's funny. That's funny. You know that the moon has moonquakes? Probably. Doesn't mean you're saying that. Was I ever looking at this? I think I did have PLTR. Yeah, I was looking at this a while ago, and I think I was looking for a bounce off of a certain low. Let's look at bigger view. Yeah, I think I was looking for a bounce off of a certain low. As we started to see this, I was hoping for that to continue at that bounce. And, got up to what, $27 or so, maybe $27 and some odd cents. Did decrease down to under $25. So people were saying that $25 is a dream. I thought that, this $20 mark was definitely at a low point. We might end up seeing a little bit of a double touch point if we can. If we do, then that's obviously a great point to get in, because creates a W formation, which indicates an upward trajectory. So I can see it retesting at certain areas, and it looks like it did test at $27 and didn't win that test, mainly because we had a down market at that time, but it didn't win that test. And now you can see it maybe starting to push back up, and maybe it'll retest that to where it can break through and then retest 30, which hopefully you can get into. But yeah, I think that this is probably a great deal. I'm going to take suggestions later this week on Carl's calls. So I'm sure that this will still be in there, because we did have that in there previously. I'm not 100% sure. It depends what they want to do. If we want to do something, new, or we want to keep some of the older positions in there, because some of those 2 weeks later might end up missing the mark. Even though it is a long-term strategy, might end up missing the mark. What do I think of the company as a whole? There's not a lot of things that I go into for a company as a whole. Unless I'm looking at the long-term position of it, I don't care about news at all. News doesn't really truly affect what I'm doing. A lot of the movement and patterns tend to be very predictable, and they're easy to understand. So I really don't factor in news too much. So that's where people kind of mistake me. They're like, oh, do you think, Apple's going to go back up to whatever? Do you think that, Tesla's going to go back up to 800? And I'll look at the history and say, yes, short term, I think it's going to go back up to 800. But then they're like, where do you think it's going to be at, like 3,000 or something? And I'm like, I don't know. Do I really care about that? I'm not holding on to Tesla for a long period of time. I only care about what they're doing short term. What can I gain in the short term from Tesla? So that's where it ends up being a little bit tricky, is people think that news truly matters to a day trader or swing trader. It depends how long you hold for. For me, I'm always looking to hold for maybe a number of weeks. Does news really matter? Not 100, not a lot. Damn, a lot of sell orders for GME? Probably. Yeah, it looks like we are seeing a lot of sell orders. We have a lot. It's not reflecting what the true volume will be, though. You have a lot of sell orders right now, but it's not reflecting what the true volume will be. You're seeing it in the thousands. So, 4.5 thousand. It's not something that's in the hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands. I like betting on things I believe have the most percentage increase. It depends on timing. Yes, exactly. Do you solely day trade then? I day trade and swing trade. Mainly I will day trade. Yes, it makes it very easy to understand what you can do in the day. You don't have to watch the market at all. With swing trading, a lot of times if it does have a larger increase, or if it does have a quick increase, then you're gonna basically have to watch the market for quite some time, or set your limit orders in order to get out. And I don't like to do that. I would love, the goal of being able to trade, right, is one, to make as much money as you can, but also to limit the amount of time that you have to work. If you want to day trade and you want to make $500 a day or $1,000 a day, then go and do that. But if you hit your goal or you hit your stop loss, stop trading. Be done for the day, and then go on about your day and do the things that you need to get done, and then go back the next day and start trading. Most people, what they'll do is they'll get greedy and you'll invest in the beginning of the day. You'll watch something else. You'll invest at, in the middle of the day or whatever, and then you watch something else. And it's it's too much. You know, you do all that just to make $8,000 or so, which $8,000 is huge in one day. But still, I'm a person that likes to settle for any type of gain and, you know, accept my win instead of being greedy, because a lot of times when you're greedy, you lose a lot of money. So mainly I will day trade, but I've been swing trading a lot lately just because since I am watching the market, not all day, but I'm watching the market for a longer period of time, it makes sense for me to swing trade some of these positions rather than day trade. Because if I just day trade, then it would be something where I'm investing in this and I'm not giving you any type of support by not, you know, by not being in AMC or Rocket or GME or whatever. As a swing trader, oftentimes I buy and have a stop limit and sell limit orders in. Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't work though, because sometimes they see these, right? And it creates a more of a wall to where your limit actually is. And if they see these, they won't let it get up to that certain price, so you won't ever get stopped out of that position, but then you won't ever get sold out of that position. If you have a trailing stop, then that's a different story. But for most cases, if you set something that's a limit to where you want to get sold out, you'll most likely get stopped out at the lower price, because a lot of these black boxes predict what retail traders are doing. This is why I don't like to put in a lot of limit orders. I will just put in a firm order at where it is. I'll do market orders for day trading. For swing trading, I'll do market orders just because I want to get in and out right now. Even if the bid-ask spread is very far apart, I want to get out right now. If it's pennies that I'm trading, then obviously I don't want the bid-ask spread to be you know, spread apart too far. But for the most part, it will be close together. I just mean, it just means I hold a stock longer than a day, usually 6 days. Yeah, that's what swing trading is. Agreed, Matthew. I will scale up and down. I like day trading penny stocks, sometimes 5 a day, just to make the quick money. Definitely in the timing for profit taking, you know, all the rush. Yeah, sometimes penny stocks can be good, because what you could do is, if you're looking for a small amount that you can gain, it doesn't mean you have to risk a large amount, because it could potentially give you a huge move by doubling just by going to, you know, from 1 cent to 2 cents. And I understand if you wanted to gain $100, you really just have $100 in there, and if you wanted to double, then it would go to $200. You really didn't risk too much, but you also, I guess, could risk that by, you know, having it go to 0, but most likely it won't go to 0. Swing trading means that I'm taking your girl out to AMC movies this weekend. That's funny. I'm gonna play an ad here. We have 431 people in here. If you guys could hit that like button, that would be amazing. It does help out the channel a ton. If you can get it to 300 likes, that would be great. With 400 people viewing, I'm sure all of you haven't hit the like button. But even if you haven't, I know you haven't, because there's 400 people and there's 200 likes. So and Matt, you only got $2 more to go into AMC, because you said 15. You would exit at 15. When some of your shares, don't be greedy, bro. I'm telling you. Yeah, I hear you. I'm thinking of taking profit, but I just want to see exactly what's going to happen with that. The thing is that it's not predictable, and I think I should probably find a way to take that profit and keep the $200 that's in here, or 200 shares that's in here, so $3,000 worth, if you could see this at the bottom, and then still stay invested just in case it does skyrocket, because to tell you the truth, no matter what, that's $8,000 that I would gain over there, maybe a little bit more. If it does go to 15, then it's obviously a lot more, and then I can have the chance to move some of that money, if not all of it, over to Webull, so that I can easily get in and out of positions without having to worry about, you know, trading only three times a week. And I mean, I do have a lot more money that's supposed to be deposited, but it's just taking forever to be deposited. And the transfer is probably not going to take, you know, any less time. So it's going to be a big situation, but it should be. I hope that I can get this account and pull a bunch over and get maybe to 40K. If I can get to 40K, then, you know, I have no issues with anything there, with any of the gains that I could make. Do you make good money doing this? Very different than other YouTube. I enjoy listening to you. Just wondering. Yeah, you make good money from it, but just know that it is a job. It's not something that's you're gonna look at as investing. And I would never classify it as investing. It's trading. You can make decent money with it, but you can also lose decent amount of money with it if you're not disciplined. The key thing to this is being disciplined. If you're not, you're going to lose a ton. If you're greedy, you're going to lose a ton. So the thing is you always see that potential and you're like, oh, it's going up, it's going up. I'm going to stay in it, you know, and I'm going to, you know, rise up to $2,000. But no, I've done that multiple times where I did it with GME. It was up to $1,900 of a gain. But I decided, hey, you know what? I'm not going to accept anything less than $2,000 of a gain. And little did I know it only was going to get to $1,900 and then decrease down to $40 per share. So it sucked for me. And I made a mistake, and everybody makes those mistakes. And I got greedy. So if you get greedy, you lose out on the situation. GME was only supposed to be a day trade for me. It was not supposed to be a swing trade or a long-term investment or whatever. At that point, it was only supposed to be a quick day trade because I wanted to make $300, and I got up to $1,900 and didn't accept it. That's where the mistake ends up coming into play. And everybody makes them. Everybody makes them. You see the price going up and you're like, oh, it can't stop here. It's going to break these support levels and these support levels, and it doesn't. And you can make money, but you can also lose money. So you just have to be disciplined. It's all about being disciplined. Don't you need a high level of capital to day trade? You don't. You can actually, well, first you need 25,000 in your account in order to trade, you know, more than 3 times a week. But you can actually make a lot of money trading 3 times a week. There are a lot of people that will only do a 3-to-1, and it could be just extra money. They will do a 3-to-1 profit to loss ratio, meaning that they'll invest 3 times and hope to gain a certain amount. So they're looking to gain $100 each time they invest. If they don't and they lose 1 time out of those 3 times, then technically they could have easily gained, you know, $180 in that week. That's extra money that you wouldn't normally have. Yes, it is going to be taxed at a higher rate than what you would normally get taxed at, but you're still going to have $180 that you're going to take home from that. So that's not bad. And you can gain decent money while they say a lot of other people lose money from swing trade or day trading, and it's only because they're not disciplined. So you know what you need. Discipline. You're a slacker. Are you invested in any crypto? No, I'm not invested. I think I'm in Ethereum, but that's it. Just because when are taxes paid? Actually, the tax deadline has been pushed back for this year. So I think it's May 17th. And you have to check your state taxes to see if your state also got pushed back. So it got pushed back about a month. So I think we're good. Yeah, we have 1 more hour until the market opens. But yeah, that's a good thing. Taxes have been pushed back for a lot of people, and I love it because I have to pay taxes. So anytime it could be pushed back from where I have to pay, I can gain a little bit more in the stock market, and then, you know, seeing 13 or 14 or however many thousand I have to pay go out, that's fine. You know, I'm fine with it as I start to make more money, but obviously I'll have to pay more taxes next year for the money that I make this year. When do you think the rich will invest again, knowing they don't want to help retail investors? I'm just holding at this point. When do I think the rich will invest again? So like, when do I think that institutions and other firms will invest with AMC and GME and like with us basically? I think they're already doing it. They obviously want to see the upside, and they're not doing it to the scale that we would hope that they can do it to, because we're holding a crazy amount of shares. So we need more shares out there for them to invest into this, which what we've seen with GME is that the reason why it went up was a combination of multiple things, right? High short interest, high amount of shorted shares. I think it was 140% or something like that. We've seen a lot of retail investors get into it and looking to buy as much as they possibly can. We've seen these institutions look to get into it. We've seen other hedge funds look to get into it. And that's why the stock price increased so much, is because they're looking to get on the winning side of this. While the original hedge funds, ended up shorting the position and kept doubling down and tripling down. And yeah, I think I think that they're still doing it with us. They're just not doing it at the scale. If we see this vote that goes through as yes, we'll see them invest at a higher scale. And we'll also see the hedge funds cover their shorts, which will technically increase the price a lot more than what we're thinking. There's definitely a lot of positivity that goes into that vote being a yes versus a no. And obviously I'll still be a no, because I don't want to see the stock price decrease. But if it is yes, then I'm going to find a way to predict what's going to happen, and hopefully I can, get out, get in, whatever I'm looking to do. But I'm still looking at some situations and saying, should I keep all of my AMC shares in there? Because an $8,000 gain, I don't want to be too greedy, but obviously I had my goal of $20. So I was thinking of taking maybe the Fidelity piece out, putting everything that I gained plus, putting everything that I gained basically in Webull, and then keeping my AMC shares that I already have in Webull, which is 211, and just holding that for a while. But I'm not 100% sure exactly what's going to happen there. So we'll have to see. But if it gets up to like $20, $25 a share, I'm going to be holding AMC in Webull for quite some time until I see it, hit that peak point, So we have 473 people in here. If you guys could hit that like button, get it above 350 likes, that would be amazing. Yes, Bill Schaefer said it. Hit that like button. Make sure it turns blue. If it's not blue, then you didn't do anything to it. I think the shorts are gone now. They're making money on options now. No, I think the shorts are still there. They're looking to drive this price down, and they understand exactly what a short squeeze can do. A short squeeze is basically that, it has that initial jump, right? It may have a couple of pops after that, but a short squeeze is that initial jump to where it does end up decreasing back down to basically where it was. And if not, end up, really dropping down significantly afterwards. So they're hoping to catch that on the uptick, short it at the top so that they can gain a lot of money on the way down. And it's not going to be something where they make up everything, because they were hoping to bankrupt companies. But yeah, I sometimes I lose my train of thought. I don't know where I'm going. But yeah, I think they're making money in other areas, but they're not just making money, trying to make money in options and completely taking out of the short positions. There are still a ton of short positions out there. They're still shorting this as the days go on. AMC, GME, costs, all of these, you could see that they're still heavily shorted. So see you later, LA. Thank you for stopping by. I wouldn't mind if this goes to $2, just as long as they don't play that of making the price in that price. Wait, what? I wouldn't mind if it goes to $2, just as long as they don't play that game of making the price locked in at a set price. I don't know what game you're talking about. I don't know how they could do that. SNDL all over the board with news, with it being a penny stock. Do you feel that with a low involvement, it could be a good stock to buy? I think that anything that is low price that has some sort of news, I really typically don't go with news too much. But like I've said in the past, I still do believe SNDL will continue on this trajectory. It should have continued on this trajectory. It could be updated to say that it will continue on this trajectory, but either way, pushing up, I still believe that this was the original trajectory and that's where we should have been. And it was going back, coming back in line, but let's update this and say that this is going to, so it's probably going to be a slow moving train to see this, as long as it doesn't go below this, this touch point line, these ascending levels of support here. I just want to make sure that that's actually a touch point. Yeah. Then we should be fine. But I think anything that's a low priced position, especially if it does have some growth to it and you do see that potential on the way up, I think it's great to put a little bit of money into. If you want to put a lot into it, then go ahead, be my guest. But it's always great to put a little bit of money into it and double that amount and be able to come out with something on top, or not even just double it, just gain a pretty decent percentage. But since I don't go by news too much, I still think that the cannabis sector is a good time, or it's actually a good time to get in my opinion. Being at these same rates, same lows, same slow increasing, same slow movement that we are seeing here. Yeah, I think that the cannabis sector looks pretty enticing to me. Friday was a shit show. It wasn't good. Just joined. Can we have an AMC recap? I just can't speak today. That goes for every day. But luckily the lag is okay. Thank you everybody joining for every platform. We have one person on TikTok, 3 people over on Twitch, and we have 493 people on YouTube. Thank you for joining over there. We can do a little bit of a recap. We talked about the fact that that overall vote and what the positives and negatives could be. That was a huge conversation that we had there. But my overall thought of the vote, to tell you the truth, is that it could be a positive thing as time goes on. One, for the company, because the company needs as much as they can get to pay off debt, to change business plans, to change marketing, whatever they wanted to change to improve the business, hire new people, then they go ahead and do that. But obviously you need some sort of capital in order to do that. This would help them generate a lot more so that they can put money to paying off some of their debt and making it a better situation for them, right? So the vote obviously wouldn't be an overall good thing for the fact that we would have dilution, we'd have a decrease of the stock price. I understand all of those thoughts, but there's a lot of positives that go into it as well. I'm not all for it, so obviously we'll vote no because I don't want to see the stock price decrease. I only care about the stock price. I kind of care about the business because I do support movie theaters a lot, but I care more about making a little bit of making some more money short term than caring about the long term ability to do that. I feel like they can do that later on and we'll be fine. But this is the vote's supposed to go through May 4th, I believe. And no matter what, I think it's probably going to be something where if they choose to push out more stocks, issue more stocks, then they're going to do that. Issue more shares, then they're going to do that. So they have all the power, so we can vote no all we want, but they own more than 50%, right? They're going to basically say yes if they want to. So yeah, it's definitely tough to see that. So that's why when I say if they're going to vote yes, or they actually have this yes out there, what could be the positives from this? What can we take and what can we do in order to make this a better situation for us? And the overall thing that we need to do is obviously buy up shares. If shares are available, we need to buy up those shares. I'm sure it'll make it easier for institutions to get into it, and they'll buy up shares. It'll make it easier for the hedge funds to cover their positions, which will increase the stock price. And then they're going to see that increase, and they're going to try and take advantage of it on the way down by shorting the position again. So they're not going to get out of their short positions. They're going to get out of their initial short positions, get back into those short positions, and then we're going to be in basically the same situation that we're in, just with more shares that are out there. So I feel like it's not anything we need to, overthink about, I guess. You heard about the increase in COVID-19? I haven't heard about that. We should be seeing a decrease with all the people getting vaccines. I mean, there's probably a lot of people that refuse to get the vaccine. But thank you for following Mortal Kombat Fanatic. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. If you can send some likes, that does help out with the live, any live stream that I'm doing. YouTube, hit that like button. Twitch, if you have any like button. I don't know what they have over there. Quickly, somebody on Twitch is asking about this position. So this position overall looks like it's a slow grower. Besides, obviously, as of late, you could see that decrease here, which it could have a couple of, it looked like it could have a couple of test points. I would have liked to see if it did hit this test point. It did break below it to where you are seeing a little bit of a bounce off of that. You just see something that has taken on so much positivity here as an ETF. The problem is, it's an ETF, you should see a continuation of positivity. So I think obviously this would have been an amazing time to get in so that you can retest some of these areas at $58 or $64, but it looks like it's going to continue on the same trajectory. It did have a little bit of a fall. I don't know what this is based on, but it had a little bit of a fall. You don't really like seeing that with ETFs, but you are seeing a recovery back up to where it should be, maybe flattening out a little bit and kind of mooning, I guess. And you don't really want to see that here, but I do see the same, more of the same as time goes on. You see a little bit more volume as these days go on, and maybe it was the fact that you are seeing negative volume, people selling off their positions, but typically people hold on to these for a long period of time. So I still probably have faith in any ETFs that are obviously reliable, that have history. So it looks like this has been a pretty slow mover or substantial mover, if you want to say that. September to February is a slow move. I feel like that's a decent amount of time to gain basically 100% or close to 100%. So it looks pretty good. No problem, Bearded Bear. I'm sorry that I got to it a little bit late. I don't know how long you had that there for. We have 507 people in here. I still wanted to continue with AMC. So AMC, for the most part, let's understand exactly where it is. It is down to 1330, 1336, which is not the best information that you want to hear. But hopefully we can see that positivity and end up pushing back up to about the 1350, 1360 mark that I think it's going to open at. Usually at the end of the close, we see a little bit of an increase, but I'm not sure if the day is going to go the same. It could be a decreased day. It looks like a lot of things are positive today, including Tesla being positive, starting to make a little bit of a downturn, but Tesla being positive, Ride being positive, RKT being positive, which is definitely a good thing in my situation. Roblox being positive up to $71.91. It looks like it's still trying to hover between that like $60 mark. Let's make the range bigger of $60 and $80. And that's where it's kind of hovering because people are holding a lot. But for AMC, I'm hoping that they could finish the pre-market around $13.50 or $13.60. maybe a little higher, and then we can see it push to $15 today. And the reason why I'm saying no more manipulation here is not the fact that I'm saying that there's not any more manipulation. I'm saying I don't want any more manipulation, but I felt like that would be too long to say. So I said it with exclamation points, saying that no more manipulation, like banging my what's it, gavel. Is that what that's called? So you're saying maybe we should sell and buy back in. I'm not saying that. If you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. I don't want to be the person to tell you not to take a profit if you want to take a profit. But I still obviously have faith in this going up to $20 or so. I just know that we are going to see a little bit of a decrease in the beginning of the day, which is what we've seen over a number of days. It's just going based off of history. Shaking your fist. I'm trying to bang the gavel or something, you know. You can see it better on TikTok. But yeah, I still have faith in where this is going, and it can go to a really, really good place. Someone says, I'm getting tired of AMC. It's taking up too much of my capital. If it don't go up today, I'm gone. I understand where you're coming from. There are a lot of people that are upset with the fact that it is taking too long, and this is what the hedge funds want. They want us to get tired of holding, and it's taking up a large portion of our portfolio. I understand this is exactly what they want. They're going to hold on to these short positions until we get tired, until we're like, you know what, we're done with this. And once a number of people end up doing that, we end up failing here. And it sucks to have that happen, but if people end up getting tired of it and they end up getting out of their positions, then they get out of their positions. It's all about patience, really. This could really skyrocket if we stay into it, but if people are going to continue to get upset about where it's going, then, you know, make your moves. You know, whatever you feel is best for you, then do it. You know, I'm not going to hold you back. But they're playing these mind games with us. They're looking to hold on to these positions, make it flat because they don't want us to hold on to these positions anymore, increase the stock price a crazy amount, then bear trap us into selling a lot of our positions. It's definitely a huge struggle. It's a huge struggle to hold on to a position that you see as flat right now, even though it does have all this potential, and hedge funds are the ones manipulating it. So it sucks. Check my math. 25 cents to 51 cents. At 3,400. Let's go to Excel. Not that. $8,981.70. The fun, Dad. That's how much you would have a gain of. Is that right? That's pretty big. I mean, if you own 34,000, so it cost you $8,636 to get into it. How long of a period was that? I mean, that's a $9,000 gain basically. And what position was that, first of all? If people start selling too soon, it could ruin the moon landing for the rest of us. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I know there are a ton of people that are getting irritated, and all they want to hear is the fact that we should hold on. And I think we should hold on. I think there's a lot of potential in where this could go. But I also want to tell people that if they're looking to take their profits, don't be that last person to hold on. But I think it could really make some great moves. So if you want to hold on for two weeks to another month in order to have this increase, then you can gain a substantial amount. Just sell it, bro, and take the profit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not looking to do that. I'm looking to, obviously I want to take profit, but I'm looking to gain as much as you could possibly gain there. And that sounds like greed, but as much as I can gain from my target, because if my target's $20, that's not something that's, you know, to the moon. That's not something that's saying I want to gain I don't know, get it to $100 or get it to $1,000. I want to get it to 20. Right now we're at 14, which is not really a thing that's out of the, you know, the cards here. Like it's here. It's not off the table. In reality, it's good for the long term. The dilution news is scary for a lot of people. Well, that's not supposed to happen until May, so we have a whole nother month in order to move the stock. So it's not something that's going to happen now. So it shouldn't. If you actually read a lot of the information, I mean, it's not going to happen now. And if they do, like, it's not going to be to a point to where they introduce all 500 million shares. They have the right to do it, but they're not probably going to introduce 500 million shares. Yeah, AMC is definitely making more positive moves than negative moves. If we look at the last couple of days, let's put some positive thoughts in your head. So if we look at let's look at the last month. We look at the last month, you can see this trajectory here from $5. Yes, we did have a couple of, you know, jumps here, but you see this increase here above the 200 EMA, the 15 moving average is above the 200 EMA. You're seeing a huge amount of growth here. I think it's big. I think we're going to see a lot of great movement here. I don't think $20 is something that is just off the table. It's $20. We're at 14 right now, almost at 15. It's very close to where my target will be, and it's not saying that I will get out completely. I think I still will be holding this AMC over in Webull for a long period of time. For the positions that I have in Fidelity, that's the ones that I'm probably going to sell. That's the one that I am going to sell and end up pushing a lot of that money to Webull. Because if I can gain $10,000, $15,000 over there, then that's amazing, because it means that I basically doubled the amount that I invested, which is what I wanted. I'm not a person that looks at that opportunity and goes away from my strategy. My strategy was $15 to $20, and that's where I'm standing. Anybody panicking on AMC right now shouldn't have ever gotten involved in the markets. Yeah, I think the people that are panicking are more people that probably need to use the money for a lot of other things. So yes, you're probably right. They shouldn't have gotten into the market. But then there are other people that are panicking because they just want to take a profit. And if you're a new investor and you need to see a profit in order to continue to invest, then take your profit, because I want to see you continue to invest and do the smart decision every single time as you go along, whether it's AMC, GME, Rocket, Tesla, Apple, whatever you're looking at. I want you to make the right decision. You sound like Eric Andre. I don't think I do. I already bought oil stocks cheap, green energy. Well, this computer has been on all weekend. That's not good. Exactly. Expendable funds only. Pay your rent. Yeah, exactly. If you can't pay your rent and you're using money that you would typically use for your rent, then you need to pay it. You need to just take this money out and pay your rent. Take your profit. Got a baby crying upstairs. Makes me sad. All right, I'm gonna hit this add button real quick. So you're saying 14, it's almost 13 and going down. It's the news. Let's get this bread. I've never been excited for Mondays. I know this does make it feel a little bit different than you typically would hear and see. But yeah, this is not something typical for me. I don't think this is going to be something where I end up streaming early morning, every single day going, not going forward today, but obviously when this whole AMC GME thing is kind of over, that's where you'll see a lot of it end up, changing. But it'll probably change to something to where I'm going to invest when the market opens, see what's happening, and see some day trades and maybe some swing trades that I make as we go along. But it's fine. Don't let Windows tell you when to restart your computer. That's funny. Have I ever heard about Triller getting an IPO? I haven't heard about that. We'll be scared. We got positive. Yeah. We have 551 people in here. If you guys want to join my Discord group, make sure you hit that link in the chat. It's the first it's the first or the only link in the chat. I pinned it to the chat. It's the first link in the description if you're interested in that. But join the Discord group. There's a lot of great people over there. We had a couple of discussions on the AMC situation with the vote. I tried to post as many as I could, as many stories as I could on my YouTube stories, just to be able to break some of this stuff down and see what I think about the overall thought of adding more shares. And it was just really tough this weekend to post any videos. I would have posted some, especially with all the news that was coming out. So thank you, Wicked Sticks, for joining the Discord group. Let me respond to this. Wicked Sticks. Profit means Discord. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty then. Thanks for your content as always. Yeah, no problem. I mean, I'm here to do as much as possible. It was laggy earlier, and it wasn't the best situation. And now it's obviously, knock on wood. This is not wood, but that it's fixed. I guess this is wood actually. That's drywall. You know what? Whatever. Yeah, something's wood around here. What's everyone's price predictions for AMC today? Yeah, definitely give me your price predictions down below. I'm going to actually, we should probably create a poll. My voice is starting to give out. Don't know why it is, but it is. Jeez. What is your... Oh. Let's do a poll. Let's see. Let's do $13. Or you know what? $13. Less than 13. Let's do 14. Let's do 15. Because obviously that's a great point. It could finish at basically even, or it could finish less than even. We could finish at 15, or let's push it up to about 17. That's probably something that's still in the cards. That could be a possibility. We've seen it grow 20%, 20+%, and I think we can see it grow a little bit more than that if need be. This cat is just meowing, rubbing against me. Here's Carl. And then let's add one more option of $20. Yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna add this post here. What is your price prediction for today? Less than $13, $14, $15, $17, or $20? Or should I say 17 plus? You know what? I'll just do 17 plus. No, you know what? $20 is good. Let's go with that. All right, so I'm gonna post this. Go to my my page and definitely vote on that. I want to know what your price prediction is for today, where it stands. I love all of the extra like cents that I'm seeing here. But yeah, go there and vote. We'll see where that stands by the open, and hopefully it's a good situation. So I would say my price prediction, I would say if we see a positive day, I just don't know. If we see a positive day, I'm definitely seeing it, you know, I'm definitely seeing it 15. I'm calling for it. But it looks like we're going downhill. We might have some sort of a reversal here. I'm not seeing any positive movement. Usually in the last 30 minutes, we will see a move back up to where it needs to open at. So this hopefully $14 mark. So right now it's at $13.34, which it could be something that increases to $13.50, $13.60, maybe pushes up higher than that. But no matter what, we're going to see a decrease right when the day opens. I know we are. That's what typically happens. We have 504 people in here. Hit that like button, get it above 400 likes. That will be amazing. See what Twitch has to say. That would, Matt, what will be a good swing today? You gotta join his Discord to get that type of info. Yes. Yeah, just to get my overall swing position of the week, and even just to talk over different swing positions in the Discord group. Not something that's just like a daily swing, just like what I see as a huge swing for the week, or what I see as a smaller swing and what we can actually trade during the week, and day trades and things like that. But yeah, as we go through the live stream, it probably won't be a situation where I give away that info, because that's I cherish it. No. But there's a lot of great swing trades. I would say if you find anything that does have, movement of like 10 plus dollars, and it's not something that's just straight down movement or straight up movement or straight upward movement, you can definitely see a great swing out of that. But that's just my opinion. I want to see ZOM go below $2, because if it does, then we can invest some money in there, and basically pull out with a good amount of change, hopefully get back up to 215. But we're seeing a lot of stocks go the wrong direction. We're seeing AMC, down to $13.35. GME is still at the same spot, basically that $200 mark, which is really good. That's not bad. I understand $200 is not $350, but $200 staying and being flat is definitely better than decreasing the way AMC is. Cost is decreasing a little bit, basically 1.5%. Rocket is up 1.1%, which is good, especially with seeing all of these three down. Tilray's up 0.8%. Roblox is up 2%. Still hovering around that 60 to $80 range, which is a huge range, but it's staying flat mainly between 70 and 80, I would say. But yeah, if you had to narrow it down more, it's probably more 70 and 75, and then having those kick-ups to 79 and dropping back down to 74. That's mainly where you're seeing it. But Tesla is looking like it is increasing to $682. It's had nothing but real positive movement here. It did have a couple of pullbacks, but nothing but real positive movement here, which is a good situation there. I'm not looking to get into it, but it's a good situation. But yeah, things are looking pretty dang decent. Any Cold War tonight? It's so tough to get to it. I still have to set up the PlayStation 5. It's over there, but I haven't played it yet. And that's kind of a horrible thing to say, that I got a PS5 and I haven't done anything with it yet. But that's the case. So we'll see. It should be a lighter day today, because Erica's off today. She doesn't work. And I want to post some regular videos. I haven't posted any regular videos. All I've been doing was streaming lately. And I wanted to post some regular videos. So yeah, we got about 22 minutes until this actually starts to move. What's the swing trade play this week? Well, I have that recorded, and I will go through it in my Patreon. So for the people that are joined on the second level, I will go through what the swing trade of the week is, and what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for it to do. But yeah, it's not going to be something that literally is going to be a swing trade of this week alone. It'll be something that you probably invest into this week and maybe get a good swing trade out of it the next couple of weeks or so. Maybe the next couple of days, depending how fast it moves, but how it's looking in maybe the next couple of days or next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's something that I will talk about over there. I already have it recorded, already have it ready to release soon, probably right after this. But yeah. I bought AMC thinking positive today. Let it ride. Yep. That's how it plays. So tired. I actually had a good amount of sleep last night, so I don't know why I'm tired. Sometimes too much sleep is too much. That makes no sense. All right, so GME is starting to increase a little bit. Did get up to $203, and now it's at 201, and it is positive 0.6%. That's really good. Hopefully we can see some positive movement with AMC. We are seeing a little bit of an upkick. We want to see that. Did I say upkick? Not uptick? We're seeing a little bit of an uptick to where the 15 moving average is starting to, turn around and hopefully pass by the 200 EMA. It looks like GameStop is starting to decrease a little bit and back down to a negative, up to a positive and back down to a negative. So it keeps fluctuating back and forth, but you are seeing some good movement with GME on the way up, still around that $200 mark. So kickflip. Too much sleep is bad for business. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, you're right. We got 507 people in here. If you could hit that like button, continue to hit that like button. That will help out the channel a ton. We have one person over on TikTok. Thank you for joining. Yeah, if you're interested in anything, comment down below. Let me know what you're interested in. It's amazing how a stock has so much attention and it's only at 13 bucks. True, 100% true. That's what I've been thinking from the start, is like, we have so much attention on this, so much movement. We have days where we've seen 200, 300 million shares worth of volume and the stock price did absolutely nothing. And that's what's crazy. We have so much attention on the stock, but we see the stock price decrease a ton, right? Manipulation, 100%. How much interest is in this position? How many people are saying that they're holding? The utilization, all of the different types of indicators that are telling us that this stock is nothing but a buy. It continues to either go down or stay flat is ridiculous. So we should be seeing a lot more of an increase here, but we're not. The increase that we've seen over the end of one of those days, I think it went from like $7. Was it $7? It went from like $5 or $7 or something like that up to 11 something, and that was huge to see. A really, really large increase. I think it was like 9. I don't really know exactly where it was at, but it went up to $11. That's the increase that we should be seeing. We should be seeing that daily. Some people are trying to move attention to silver. They've been doing that from the beginning, moving attention to silver. Why are we down on the pre-market after Friday? To tell you the truth, there's no reason. Maybe people are getting tired of holding on to positions, but a lot of retail traders are not investing or selling at this point because a lot of retail traders don't want to sell in extended hours, sell in after hours or pre-hour markets. Just because, one, it's not as liquid. You're not going to get all of your shares filled. There's been a number of times to where I've gotten partial shares filled, and it just doesn't sit well with me. So this is mainly, you're going to look at, hedge funds trading at this time. You're going to see firms trading at this time, institutions as well. They can do all this stuff. It makes it easy for them, but there's a lot of retail traders that are not trading right now, that are not buying and selling. So it's not entirely showing what the overall market is going to do. This is why I say that you could see a complete flip, because the market, the pre-market is not really showing what the market open or the actual market is going to tell us. I'm so cold down here. It gets so hot upstairs and it gets so cold down here. Should hopefully go up to 26 if they reopen their theaters like they want to. I think it's past that point of any type of attention because AMC has all of our attention. We're into it, and it's not about whether they open up the theaters or not. It's more about the fact that, are we going to invest into them more and more as time goes on, because we're holding a crazy amount of shares. We can't really do much more than continue to hold and continue to buy whatever is left. But anything that you see it decreasing, it has to be a form of manipulation. If you do see a slight decrease, then that's understandable. that's where some people may end up selling off, taking their profits. They're tired of holding AMC. I understand. But, the large decreases are not retail investors. The large decreases is manipulation. Any larger institutions that gained whatever profit they wanted to gain and put their money into something else to where they can gain a little bit more, because that's the whole name of the game, is to make some money. But it's way more than just theaters reopening. I think that it's going to play some sort of a factor in the long game when it comes to what their real stock price is once this all settles in a matter of 5 years. But I think it may take a long time, but I don't know if it'll be 5 years. But yeah, once it settles, it'll become a factor, where their stock price will be long term. But yeah, ladder attacks, adding fake shares, all of it. It's a joke, kind of. It's pretty funny. What? Yeah, I mean, it sucks that they go to these lengths and they allow them to do this. And I understand that, they implement some rules in order to count shares. The thing is any type of recount that's maybe fueled by government action could be manipulated as well, because a lot of these big businesses, a lot of the hedge funds, a lot of the big banks fund a lot of their campaigns. So it does not matter, it only matters about the image. The image is what matters for them. So if they look like the good guy and saying, oh, we're going to implement this rule in order to, figure out what shares are out there, outstanding, all this other stuff, it's not helping. This is why I think that we would have that look of them offering more shares, because it forces that recount, an actual recount, an accurate recount, an actual understanding of what is out there, naked shorts, IOUs, all of that stuff. It actually forces that, rather than it being a government fueled type of recount. Because all of that could be manipulated versus what the actual business wants. So one, it could help the business in a big way. Yes, it would create some sort of dilution by adding the shares. It would help the business in a long way, but it would also add, would bring in the fact that the stock price would go down, which would make people want to buy more as the stock price does decrease, increasing that value quickly, having the hedge funds cover their shorts, which increases the value as well. Seeing that get to a high point, the hedge funds decide to short the position again, and we're still in the same situation that we're in, just with more shares, in a better situation, actually, in my opinion. The thing is that for the hedge funds that are holding, I believe you have to cover your short positions before you can invest long. I'm pretty sure. But if they go in long, then they go in long, right? They're just trying to make up their profit and break even, or make up their loss and break even. And if they do that, they do that. But we're going to be making money while they're trying to break even. So if you give them the chance to cover their shorts, they can cover them all they want. It's going to increase the price, which means that they're going to try and get in on the downtick, which means they're going to try and get in, let's say this goes to $100. They're going to try and short it at $100 so that it does come back down. We're going to be in the same situation, just probably at a higher price, because we have more shares out there, more people that are interested in it. There's going to be a lot more to deal with there. I think it helps out the company more than we think. So it seems like it seems like a lot of people are going against this. And yes, I don't want any type of dilution, any type of price action decrease, but I do want to be able to help the company in the long haul, because I feel like this does help us in the short term. And let me know if you feel otherwise. I just feel like if you look at how a stock price does move, and you look at what could possibly happen, we would see the hedge funds cover their shorts. Okay, fine, cover your shorts. And the more they keep covering, the more that they're going to end up losing, because the stock price is going to keep decreasing. But they can't naked short anymore. They can't, send out these IOUs to people that are buying these positions. And I think it's going to be a really good situation for us. And no matter what, I think they're going to make their own decision, whether we vote no or yes. They're going to say, if I want to bring on new shares, then I'm going to bring on new shares. They own how many percent, or how much percentage of the company, how many percentage of stocks of the shares. So they basically can say, you know what, I want to add on more shares, and they're going to do it. Here's a wall at 14, just sell and test the bottom. That'll be tough to be able to bring everybody to sell. Just don't see AMC screwing themselves to make a quick buck. I think I'm voting for. Yeah, well, the thing is that they're not making a quick buck. They're going to make a lot more to cover debts in order to revamp their business, R&D, whatever they have to do in order to revamp their business. And that's going to create a lot more for them. It's not just a quick buck. It's actually a long-term buck, because it's going to increase that price as the time goes on with all the popularity. People are not going to get out of their positions. Hedge funds are going to cover. The stock price will decrease right from the start when they do introduce these shares, but it will go right back up right when they start covering the shorts, right where people start buying when the stock price is so low. It's not a split. It's not anything like that. You're seeing the stock price decrease based on the fact that you're adding more shares. So with people buying up those shares right away, once people see that there's 500 million more shares left, tell me you're not going out and buying more shares as it goes down to, let's say it's split in half. Let's say it goes down to $7. You're telling me it's not something that's valuable at $7. I'm in there so fast you couldn't even tell me about it. Like I don't even know. I would be in there very, very quick with like 1,000 or 2,000 more shares. Maybe I wouldn't like to see the stock price go down, so I'll probably put in 1,000 shares, and then if it does go down a little bit more than that, put in more money. So it's going to be something that people continue to buy up, and as the hedge funds cover their shorts being that low, that's still higher than where they were, they're still losing money. The stock price would go up, and they would continue to cover as it does go up while people are buying, which adds on institutional buyers as well, which increases the stock price. So it adds on a lot of positivity there by actually going through with this. So again, don't want the stock price to decrease. I love to see where my profit is, so I'm going to vote no, but just think of the positivity that you could get with this when it does end up happening, because if they want it to happen, they're going to make it happen. Whether we vote yes or no, they're going to make it happen because they own more, well over 50%. So, and institutions probably want it to happen because they probably see the potential there. $7 and a chance of bankruptcy. No, not even close. With the fact that they do have these short positions out there, not even a chance of bankruptcy. A lot of people that are holding on to it. Now, if everybody sells, then yes, that's definitely a chance there, but it gives them the opportunity to put more into it. I think people are looking at this in a completely different way. No. If it splits in half, do our shares get doubled? No, because they're introducing new shares. They're not doing a split. If it does, if they did a full, they're not going to do a split. But if they do offer more shares, it's not to that point. It's just a dilution. So it's not giving us the shares. It's just putting the shares out there, which is a different story. It's in May, so it's not something that's happening now. So wherever the stock price is now, who knows exactly where the short positions will be during that time. But right now, I believe that's not going to happen until May. So whenever that does go through and they decide to offer any more shares, because they're going to offer more shares. That's just hands down what they're going to do. They're letting people know, hey, do you want this to happen? See if we can get, maybe 10, 15% of the people vote there and say, yes, I'm all for it. Then it looks like, instead of 50% that's for it or 60% that's for it, now 70% is for it, something like that. Because, if they're all for it, then they're going to pass this, or they're going to vote yes on this, and then they're going to offer them more shares. So what could be the positives that we can get out of this? Whether we look at it as a positive or negative and say, what I'm going to get out of this position, what can be the positive out of this? I want to know everything that can be positive, everything that can be negative, and I understand both sides of it. But what can we do in order to make this more positive? How can we fix this rather than completely get out and disown it, you know? Okay, then easy. I'm gonna have to possibly pull out and then come back. Hate to say. Yeah, I mean that could be a thing to where you end up. Um, Thank you for hitting the like button. That could be a possibility where you can get out and come back in, but I'd rather see people stay strong and then show the strength of it so that when people do continue to buy in, you're just driving the price up. So if you buy in, you're actually lowering your cost average when it does get low. So no matter what, your overall wash is going to be the same. And the thing is if you sell high and only invest, a portion of it, your cost average is going to be probably the same where you were, rather than, because it's going to be a wash sale no matter what. The way that you look at it, it's going to show that it's a wash, which is hard to look at. You really want to look at it as, I made this investment, this is going to be positive. I made this investment, this is going to be positive. But no, if you have a negative investment, then it washes out with your investment that you have later. So it will be something that you see as, let's say you lost 1,000, you gained 1,000, you're going to be at break even. So that's the way it looks. But I think this looks really interesting with the vote, and I'm probably the only one that thought that it looked interesting and that I wasn't right away saying no to it. There's a lot of people that right away said, no, I'm not doing this because of dilution, because of the share price decreasing. I understand that, but there's also a lot of positivities and a lot of positivity that could go into that. Right now with GME, we're up to $204, so it's looking pretty good with the movement here. GME is something that goes off and on with increasing and decreasing the first candlestick, so we definitely have to watch out for that. Would you say? Sorry, I've been watching your stream since late January. Would you like to say I've learned a lot from you, man? Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything that I can teach, and if I'm wrong in any areas, definitely call me out on it, because I want to learn myself, because I don't know everything, but I can teach what I do know, and then we can go from there. So thank you for saying that. That does mean a lot to me. If I get out of my position and I'm not coming back, because I will never get that low no time unless AMC gets down to $5. I understand where you're coming from. If you're at $2 or $5 or wherever, you're never going to get that low. But just know that it will be a wash sale if you come back in, and it's going to show what your break-even point actually is. So let's say you sell at $14, and you end up getting back in with all of the money that you had in there, right, at $2. You started at $2, you get out at $14, right? And then you take all the money that you gained from there and you put that back in when it does go back down to $5. Your break-even point will be less than what the low is. So you will never get to where your break-even point will be, because the wash sale will show, there's too many S's there. The wash sale will show that you're at like $1 break-even point, or 50-cent break-even point, which it will never get to. So that's where it ends up being interesting. If you do reinvest at a lower point, the wash sale shows that you are way lower. So it's interesting to see that, because then if you get to a point to where it's never gotten to, that's where it's like, okay, I cannot lose here. I cannot, unless it goes bankrupt, I cannot lose here. You know what I mean? All right, so let's see. The market should be open. It is open. We can see AMC actually drop down significantly. It's down to $13. It's really fluctuating. $13 and then going down to $12.98. It is doing a little bit of a push up. Let's look. This is the 1 minute chart. It is pushing up a little bit to $13. Starting to drop down. It might end up pushing a low of like $12.50, which would be very interesting. We're seeing AMC or GME taking a little bit of a hit. It did go up to $205 to where it is decreasing a little bit. We might see that fluctuation here, that really big fluctuation, which is definitely interesting to me, at least. We have 945 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button, get it up to 550 likes. That would be amazing. Also, if you want to join the Discord group, it is the first link in the description, and also it's pinned to the chat. It's $5 to join the basic Discord group chat, but then also if you want Carl's calls and all those other things, there's a second level to that, which I will create another level. Wow, it looks like GME's making a push up to almost $210. That's crazy. We're seeing a really good move here. Really, really good move here. It's dropping hella far. Yeah, AMC is definitely making a little bit of a move downward, but we can see it start to have that recovery. Don't get scared here. Definitely don't get scared here. It looks like Rocket is up 0.4%. You'll see Ride that's up. You'll see Tesla that's up 0.6%, 4.7%, almost 4.8, 4.9 at this point. Yeah, wow, that's moving up. But AMC's starting to recover a little bit from where it opened. It opened at 13.15, so that's way lower than where I thought it was going to be at 13.50. So I think we could still see that movement up to 14, and hopefully we can see some really good positive movement up to like $15. But right now we're down 5%. So Mavis is moving. Mavis is definitely moving. MVIS is making a move. It's starting to come back. Just know when it pulls away from this 15 moving average, there's two things that could happen. Is the fact that it could come back. Most cases, 8 times out of 10, it will come back to the 15 moving average. And then, you know, that those last 2 times, it'll come up to where the stock price is. So basically, it needs the stock price to stay flat for this 15 moving average to come up to where the stock price is. Most cases, you'll see this come back to the 15 moving average. It won't really be at a halfway point either. You can see this large drop that it is having, but it does look decent either way. AMC is now at $12.85. We are seeing more of a decrease, more and more of a decrease, more people that, more manipulation, all of this. Look at this. Look at this. It just looks bad. We can see GME starting to take a little bit of a dive as well from where they were. And this may just be another negative day that we see here. I'm in the Discord group. Thank you for, oh, you're in the Discord group. All right, well. Yeah, make sure you guys hit that like button. Get it to 550 likes. Looks like we're seeing some really negative movement here. Down to $12.62. Are there any walls that we see here? So we have a bunch of walls that they seem to bust through. 59 cents, 55 cents. Might see some more shorting action. Let's check with Fintel to see exactly what we're looking like to start the day. Probably didn't fully update. Gotta tell you, YouTube, that Matt needs a little bit of trim up on the beard. I need a trim up. I don't. I would love to be able to grow it out. I did end up smoothing it out, but anyways, we're below 1250. It looks like GME is still positive. AMC is down 10%, almost 10%. If it does get to 10%, it hits the SSR, which it might not end up doing, because I always look to avoid that. Yeah, they always look to avoid that. That seems to be the bouncing point. Where's 10% at? We should probably look at that in the future. Where's 10%? And we're seeing a little bit of a jump up here. A little bit of a move. We obviously want to see some positive movement here. On the way up, on the way up. I love for you, brother. Thanks for all that. Thank you for watching. But I think I need to like fill this in. It would be great. But yes, thank you for commenting, for being around here. And all right, okay, what are we seeing here? Yeah, it looks like that 10% mark is the point to where people point to where it does bounce back up. It doesn't want to trigger the SSR. Am I right? Funny how you guys never talk negative about AMC. I do talk negative about AMC sometimes, but right now there's not really a lot to talk negative about. I mean, it's not a point to where people are selling off. It's a point to where we have a lot of positions that we're holding, and the only thing that we see is the fact that there's a ton of manipulation here. Why would it not continue to go down to 10%? It got to 9.6%, 9.7%. But it's always close to triggering the SSR, but it never really does. I'm losing money right now. Of course, it's going down. Yes, the SSR has been triggered. It went past 10%. I didn't see it go past 10%. According to the live data you were seeing in front of you, it went past 10%. Oh, I guess I missed it. SSR doesn't matter. You're right. It doesn't really matter too much. It does matter a little bit if they want to make some money from it. But if they don't care about making money, they just care about shorting the position, then yeah, they don't care. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, we have 1,040 people in here. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Jesus, Harper. Over here jumping. Yeah, so yeah, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Also join the Discord group if you want to join the Discord. It is pushing down. It did get back up to the 15 moving average. So yeah, always factor in that 15 moving average. If it's pulling too far away, it's definitely being oversold at these points, and you can see that. And if it's pulling too far away from the 15 moving average, know that it's going to come back to earth. And there's probably a 20% chance that the 15 moving average will follow what the stock price is doing, but that's 20%. Now don't you feel dumb for panic selling? Who? Who panic sold? Join the Discord group. It's fun. Yes, live wire. Yes, it is. It is really fun to be able to talk and communicate with all the people back and forth and get some suggestions too. Everybody else's mindset on different suggestions. It's always great to be able to see that. But yeah, like I said, 15 moving average, amazing to go off of. If you do see that 15, 20 moving average, whatever you want to see there, but a short-term moving average indicator tells you a lot about where the stock is going, where it will come back to. That's exactly what happens. GME is now starting to decrease a little bit more, down to a low of 198, which is lower than where it opened at 204. But just continue to watch this, and hopefully we can see a little bit of a turn here. It seems like more of a stair-stepping, and we might see that at a larger scale. Stair-stepping, and then hopefully we see that skyrocket on the way up, but we don't know where the true low is going to be. Remember, I'm still in it at 240. I'm looking to have that increase to 300, or skyrocket if it wants. I just spoke to AMC's customer service. She said, please hold. Okay. That was good. I've never heard that one before. I feel like that should have been said already. I almost cried. Man, y'all are ready to paper hand already in this. Watch DFV video leading up to the big squeeze. It's a roller coaster and a half. Yeah, I can imagine. I can definitely imagine. I've really never been a part of a squeeze. It's really rare. Not rare as of today. We've been seeing a number of squeeze potential opportunities out there, but obviously you need everybody's support into these positions in order for it to fully squeeze, which we are seeing a massive amount of support into GME and AMC. And I don't even think GME was a full squeeze because it obviously got manipulated on the way down. Also, factoring in the restricted trading and all that stuff. It was just a lot to take in. We have 1,000 people in here. Continue to hit that like button, guys and gals. It was funny. I almost cried. It was funny. What do you think of AMC voting form from through Robinhood? So the email that we were getting that was going around, I did talk about that. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm the only one that looks at, obviously as much of the positivity as I can in what could take place. So for a lot of the people, they're talking about dilution. They're talking about the fact that the stock price could go down significantly, adding on basically double the amount of shares, right, available. I understand the overall thoughts of it, but first we need to understand if it will happen. And yes, I think it will happen, just on the basis of not the fact that we're voting yes or voting no. I mean, but the vast majority of businesses, institutional owners, and AMC themselves are for it, then they're going to do it. They're just letting us know that do you have a chance to vote on this, but either way, the vast majority of shareholders are for it. So it's going to happen. Now, what could happen if we do see that? We're going to see dilution. We're going to see the stock price decrease quite a bit. And how does that really affect? And we're also going to see a number of shares that are out there. So how does that really affect it? One, we're going to see the ability of us to be able to buy in at a lower price. That's going to be huge, right? For us to buy in at a lower price. Two, it gives the institutions more ability to buy in at a larger scale because they love to buy in at these large scales of millions of shares, right? Then three, it's going to give the hedge funds to a chance to cover a lot of their positions, which a lot of people think as a bad thing, but technically it's a good thing, right? If they cover their positions, what's going to happen to the stock price? It increases. All of those things that I just mentioned will increase the stock price, and doing that in tandem, trying to get to that really quick, will increase the stock price. Now, if they continue to find a way to short the position, if they say, you know what, I'm going to short it like hell once these stocks are available, and bring the stock price down a lot more, that's going to make it more of a value for us to buy into. So they're not going to do that. They're going to cover their shorts, which is going to increase the price. We're going to buy some, it's going to increase the price. Institutions are going to buy some, it's going to increase the price. Then we're going to see it basically back up to where it is or a lot higher. And then you're going to see hedge funds want to short again because they don't want to lose on the situation. As the stock price keeps going up, they're going to end up losing more and more money as they continue to exit those short positions. So they're going to have to add on shorts in order to limit the amount that they can lose, or buy in long, which obviously helps our situation. So no matter what, it's really a win-win situation for us, and it's a lose-lose situation for them. No matter if it happens or it doesn't happen. If it doesn't happen, I think it may be a possibility to where they hold on for a long period of time. The hedge funds hold their short position for a long period of time because there's no interest that they're really paying on it. It ends up being a difficult situation if it doesn't happen. It ends up being more of this staggered or this slow move up rather than the fast move up that we expect. So I don't know. It's definitely tough to say what will happen there, but obviously I'm voting no. I don't want the increase to the stock price to decrease, but since it is going to happen, I think there could be some positives that we take out of it. And what do we need to do in order to improve the stock price and make it the same situation or a lot better than where we were? Pricing 1 month ago was about $5.50. Started at the start of a climb out, 5 major peaks. It's $13 and $14, almost tripled in a month. Not bad. Yeah, it definitely is. I can tell you with AMC, before that they were at $7. Before that overall drop of the market during like the beginning of COVID, you've seen them at $7, and throughout COVID they really hovered between $2 and $7. They had a couple of pretty decent moves upward and downward. You can get a pretty decent swing trade out of it if you wanted to, not knowing if the company would survive though. But obviously with this last push, we can see them, you know, end up changing business models, and it's great to be able to see them get up to $13 or $14 or even $15 or wherever they got to. But yeah, it's great. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I'm not sure I agree with that. When is this vote? It's in May, so we don't really know exactly what's going to take place in May when it comes to the amount of short shares that, the amount of shorted positions that are out there, short shares available, where the interest will be, how many people are holding at that point. Are people going to get out at that point? Are we going to hit a certain high to where people just say, you know what, I'm done with this? It's basically 1 month away. But yeah, it's going to be a little interesting. May 4th. No, they didn't say any dilution date yet. What's the date that the dilution will happen if voted yes? Well, if it's voted yes, May 4th, they can introduce it anytime they want to. So it just gives them the right to introduce up to 500,000 shares. Sorry, not 500,000, 500 million shares. Doesn't mean that they're going to introduce all 500 million, which I think from a business standpoint, I think it would probably help them out to just do it all at once and see that full dilution rather than stagger the dilution, because then you start to get into this this staggered look to where it's either like going up really fast or going down really fast. I don't want to see that. Just introduce all the shares that you have available to introduce, and then you're fine, in my opinion. I'm a beginner. If I joined in with watching your content now, would I understand and grow? Yeah, I think if you start to put in the work to understand, that's totally on you. There's a lot of people that will, you know, take a program on and not take in all the information. It's totally on you whether you actually take in the information, you retain the information. Because there's a lot of things that I can teach that I know, and there's a lot of things that other people can teach, whether it's on the Discord group or, you know, as a member or whatever of, you know, the YouTube channel, which I haven't really made live yet, I don't think. So yeah, Jesus. But yeah, I think it's totally on you, and I think you can learn a lot. It's just you have to take it upon yourself to learn a little bit more and more as you start to invest. You start to learn a lot more with doing. If you invest in something, it's starting to slow down a little bit. We are down basically almost 10%. If you start to invest in something, then you start to learn. And if you fail, you start to learn even more because you understand what you shouldn't do. So there's a lot that's on you in that situation. I can teach you any of the knowledge that I know, like any of the things that I retain. But yeah, it's totally on you to take all that stuff in. Anybody else? There's another person that joined the Discord group. Thank you. How do you say this? Farvosa for joining the Discord group. I will say thank you. I will add roles once I get back. So if you guys want to join the Discord group, link is pinned to the chat. It's a great group of people. So far, we have a really great group of people, and it is $5 to join, but that really just limits the amount of randoms you can have pop up in there. It actually commits you to getting into investing, especially if you're new. If you're brand new to investing, you can learn a lot. And if you need an explanation of like something, just understanding, short positions, understanding stocks in general, buying long, what you can do, how you can lower your cost average. There's a lot of different people that can talk about this stuff, whether it's me or whether it's some other people that have been in the group from the beginning. So yeah, definitely check out that. I'm in ride to see a serious potential and don't know when to take profits. Don't know where to go from here. So yeah, join the Discord group, and we can definitely talk about a lot of that stuff, a lot of ride, because that was interesting to me when someone brought that to my attention. AMC is starting to make a little bit of a move upward. Now I'm only streaming for another 9 minutes. So hopefully you can find somebody else that is streaming that is talking about all this stuff. I would like to listen to hear what people have to say, but obviously I think I'm thinking differently on this whole voting situation than a lot of other people. You're saying, oh, I'm voting no, but what's going to happen if it is yes? I really just want to know everybody's opinion on how we can make this a positive situation if it is a yes. Because I think when it is a yes, because it's not going to be if, it's when, that we need to figure out how we can change this to benefit us rather than them, And I think no matter what, it's going to benefit AMC and us a lot more than it would them, in my opinion. That's just totally my opinion. What do you think Mavis can get to? MVIS, I think MVIS is definitely can get to $20, $25 easily. It's gotten there before, but obviously you're seeing really like bad negative movement here. With Rocket, that's pissing me off that we are seeing that negative movement. But let's look at I know it's 6 months is too long, but you can see that massive increase that you did have from $2 all the way up to $24, and we can definitely get back to that point. It looks like it finds ways to retest certain areas, and we would hope that we could find some other retest areas at $20, $21. I think we had one at 19 or so, 18 or so. And then we're also gonna have some at like 20 something dollars, and then maybe 24 as the ultimate test to see if it pushes past that. But I think it's a good position to get into long term. I can definitely see huge potential in that. And to double down once it does get to certain lows. If it does end up, pushing below to like $10 or $9, I see them, making some moves from there. So those are those ones that you can swing trade, long-term invest. This is one that I'm seeing as more of a long-term investment here. And obviously Carl's seen it as a long-term investment. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. Yep. Oh, that's why. I gotta fix that. I think my tripod is broken over there. Best dividend stocks I like are O. Movement. O has a special dividend. People don't know about $3 a share. Yes. I love O. I love Realty Income just because, one, it's a monthly paying dividend position, which a lot of people don't know about. Some people know about monthly paying dividends, but monthly paying dividends are amazing, in my opinion, at least. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this a little bit early. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, if you want to join the Discord group, again, it's linked in the chat, also in the description. And if you want to join Webull, the Webull platform, click the Webull link down below, sign up, deposit $100, and you'll get 2 free stocks for signing up and doing all that. So we did hit 600 likes. Thank you guys for getting me to 600 likes. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I will reach out to people in the Discord group, add roles to the Discord group. So remember, if you want to join, just hit that link. But I'll catch you guys in the next stream. Hopefully I do one later today, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'll see you guys in the next stream.